Welcome to the Clipper Shack's Q&A. I've received a number of questions on podiatry as well as the cuticle nippers, and I'm going to cover them here right now, trying to answer these questions. The first one, loose jaw. They have give to them, and you need to tighten the jaw before you try to sharpen. If you try to sharpen with the jaws being loose, you're not going to make any progress because they do not line up. Recently, they've started making nippers that the screws actually come loose. The old time, we never saw them with a screw that was workable, and we had to treat them like a rivet. So the first thing you want to try, if they're loose, put a screwdriver into the slot. See if you can get any movement. If you're getting movement, you'll need to back the screw out and put Loctite on it. If you have the wiggle in these, you'll have to treat them like a rivet. If the screw does not move, and this is a lap joint. If you look at this from the side, this is a lap joint. This is a box joint. They are different, but they both basically work the same. The box joint will hold up longer than a lap joint. To tighten a lap joint, set it. You're going to use this just as a rivet at this point. You set your punch in the middle, and you hit it firmly. That took the wiggle out of these. However, sometimes you have to reverse, and if you look very closely, and it is not going to show up on camera, but if you look very closely and move it in the light, you can actually find the other end of the screw. Make a small mark with a marker at that point. Then you can set your punch on that area and punch it again from that side. And you can get these tight. If you happen to get them too tight, set them on an angle, hit them this way, hit them this way, and you will re-stretch that rivet. There's actually a little give in these again now because I loosened after I tightened. On the box joint, same process is followed, except sometimes you need to compress the entire box. So at that point, using the flat side of your ball peen, which is not perfectly flat, you can compress the entire joint. See, they actually won't open now. I've got them a little bit on the tight side. I could go through that. Now, by the same person, I received a question of when the jaws are not lining up. We'll now move over to that. Okay, the second question was when our jaws do not meet correctly. And these three photos are all of the same nipper. We've got this one, we've got this one, and we've got this one. It appears that the outside work on this nipper was done before sharpening was even attempted. What we truly need to do, and this nipper is smaller, but you can see it's of the exact same style as the nipper shown in the picture. We treat it exactly the same. So what we would do the inside of this that I'm not going to cover right now. I will cover that in our next segment. But when we've run into this problem with that jaw being too long, what we must do is put it in the B-clamp and make the face match. I'm going to move. Okay, we're over at the B-clamp. I insert the nipper, pointing it roughly to the center of the wheel. I turn this and I bring it over. It's at I've got the motor set at 0, so I will come in and I will line it with the wheel, exactly parallel with the wheel. Then you can barely tighten. You don't want to tighten and possibly move things with the torque of the screw. It will hold it into place. Now what I would do, I would run the wheel, I would touch the nipper, and I would keep doing this until the two jaws meet and are even across the front of that nipper. What we don't want to do, if you remember from the pictures, it appears the outside work was done, more metal was removed from one jaw than the other before this nipper was even attempted to be sharpened. So these faces have to match exactly. They cannot be like this photo and cut properly. Now in next week's segment, we're going to start with the inside of this nipper and move right to the outside of the nipper on the proper way of going through a nipper. And I'd like to thank you for viewing our video, and I'd want you to like us and subscribe to our channel.